Hey, happy Saturday. This is Chris Spiker. We're in for a treat. We have some of the students from the YEA program, YEA, Young Entrepreneur Academy.
Yeah.
Jillian Stebbins and Tiara Washington. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Well, Jillian, let's start with you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi, I'm Jillian. I'm the CEO of Breeze Stationery, and my company manufactures custom bracelets.
Custom bracelets.
Mhm.
How did you get that idea?
Well, it came from an idea that I had when I was talking to one of my friends, and they always asked me for a pencil. And I got annoyed by it because I was like, can't you have your own pencils? And so I thought, what will make it so that this person does not forget their pencil ever again? Why don't you put it on a bracelet?
Hey, you know something I forgot to mention. You're how old?
I'm 13.
You're 13, and you have your own business.
Mhm.
And Tiara, how about you?
I'm Tiara Washington. I go to Gorman Learning Center. I'm an 11th grader, and I'm the CEO of Forget Me Not Packages.
How did you come up with Forget Me Not packages?
It's similar to Jillian's story. I always forgot my essentials. I do gymnastics, and when I go to gymnastics, I'd always forget my things or it'd get lost in like a big bag I would carry. And I realized that I needed a small grab-and-go bag with everything in it that would stay there so that I didn't forget things anymore.
Wait a minute, you're in gymnastics,
I am.
but later today you have basketball practice,
I do.
and now you're the CEO of a company.
Yes.
Don't you have enough to do?
I also do horseback riding, ice skating, aerial silks. There's other things, cello.
And you're in the 11th grade.
Yes.
So you're both part of a program called YEA,
Yes.
Young Entrepreneurs
Academy.
Academy.
Yes.
Now, how did YEA find you? Jillian, tell us.
Well, actually, my mom knows the program manager, PJ, and they worked together, and PJ brought home a flyer. My mom brought home a flyer from PJ, said this might be something you would be interested in.
You know, and Tiara, you're a rock star already. You're an overachiever. So what was the decision to get involved with YEA?
My mom is an independent study teacher for a charter school, and she's in charge of sending out emails for opportunities to parents of other students. And she was sending out this email about the YEA program, and she was like, "Hey, this is really interesting. You might want to do this." So we came to the orientation, and here we are.
And Tiara, have you ever done anything like YEA before?
No, not like this. Not starting. I've taken a business class, but I haven't got to go through the nuts and bolts of actually starting my own business and pitching it and all that.
The Lancaster Chamber of Commerce put this together. And Jillian, how many weeks is the course?
Well, I believe the program is 22 weeks.
Right. Good answer.
It's all year, so it started October. It started in October, and we have our last class next Tuesday.
And your parents have to be involved. I mean, they're the chauffeurs on the deal.
Yeah, they chauffeur you places. If you're older, like some of our classmates, then they can drive themselves, and there's little parent involvement. But if you want to sign a contract with anyone, like I know, one kid got a contract deal with the hospital, and so he's going to have his parents sign in on that.
Yeah. And as far as financing goes, you always want to have your parents involved too, right?
Yeah.
They're going to end up being investors.
We have parent involvement, but part of the application process was that they were trying to really figure out, did we want this? Was this something our parents wanted us to do, or is this something that we could do? Because if it's something your parents just wanted you to do, they knew our businesses weren't going to go far. So they wanted to make sure that this was self-led, that we wanted to be here, and that's how it would go.
That there was a lot of passion behind the idea. Wow. This is a program that the Chamber's going to continue next year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the 4th year. And so next year, I think they've already started marketing and working out the kinks of next year's YEA program.
Yeah. I know Mark Hemstreet at the Chamber is really excited about it. And Stan Ulvin?
Stan Ulvin, yes.
Sierra Towing?
Mm-hmm.
Is he coming back?
I believe so. They were both our directors for this year, and I think they have been in previous years as well.
I think they're bringing on one new person too. They're an extra instructor.
Yeah.
A volunteer
It's
time.
a big project and it takes a lot of time. So in the course of 22 weeks, you talk to investors, you talk to professionals in the field. So who are some of the people or the vocations that came in to talk to you?
Well, the president of ABC,
Knudsen.
Ed Knudsen came in, thank you. And
I know, why doesn't he pronounce his name Knudsen? I'm gonna ask him.
You should.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
But so he came in and he was one of our investors. There was someone from
There was the owner of Tech Gods. There was the owner of, well, we have mentors and we have investors, and then we also had people we took field trips to.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different professionals. So some were mentors like this,
like Chris at the Tech Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or
what color
William
was he wearing,
Edwards
by the way?
photography.
Green.
Bright green.
Okay, yeah.
He was one of our mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for one of our field trips, we went to the cool place.
Oh, Rocket Fizz.
Rocket Fizz.
Rocket
Yeah,
Fizz.
and that was fun. We learned about what a franchise was and how to get one started. If it was actually worth it, other than starting your own business.
Yeah, there are two ways to go, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What an interesting business, selling candy and soda
Mm-hmm.
and making money at that. I guess you can make money at almost anything.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the goal of the YEA program, is to show us that, like, no matter what you're doing, there's a market for it, and that's what that's one of our main points, is niche marketing. And so if you find your niche, you're gonna get sales.
Wow, key point. So you got to spend time with a CPA, an accountant,
Mm-hmm.
He did.
and a marketing person, and an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are the chances at your young ages that you get to spend an hour question and answer with a
They were
person?
telling us like
Yeah.
the prices for what these people
It was
would
like
actually
$600
charge
an hour.
for a consultation, and we were feeling really like fortunate to be able to bounce a bunch of questions off them and have them give their input, and
Yeah.
it was really nice.
You get like all this amazing knowledge, and there's an infinitesimal chance that you would see that anywhere else in any other program.
Yeah.
I like the word infinitesimal.
I knew you'd fit it in here somewhere. You've got like 5 more minutes to use it one more time. Think
Challenge
about it.
accepted.
So tell me a little bit about some of the other students and the businesses that are in the class.
Well,
We have Wyatt Gore. He's the CEO of Safe School Protection Kits. He actually got a deal with AV Hospital.
Yeah.
They're trying to help him market his product. He does a kit for
active shooters.
active shooters for schools
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
to help them survive a mass shooting, or to be prepared to survive a mass shooting at schools. So.
And I think that's something that's really cool. We also have Amelia Lee, and I think you're going to talk to her today, and she's doing T-shirts.
She designs them herself.
Designs a print on the shirt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she has her specific brand that she's marketing, and she'll tell you all about it. She's ready. But she's doing T-shirts, and it's
Really fun,
Yeah.
really unique.
Yeah, fashion. I mean,
mm-hmm.
everybody has 100 T-shirts and some favorite ones.
Yeah.
So she has a chance to use her talents, her artistic
Mhm.
talents, and learn how to. People have great ideas. They just don't
Mhm.
know how to go to the next step.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of fashion,
Yep.
there's another student, Layal Corey, and she's also doing fashion. She's working on reselling used clothes that she finds at
Thrift stores. She
Thrift
does like
stores.
vintage clothes.
Mhm.
So she doesn't make the clothes, but she does put them together in outfits.
Mhm.
And it's a different fashion sense that she has, where she can just put things together and no one would think it looks good together, but it does. So she really enjoys that.
You know, when I heard her story, I thought, I have a couple extra tuxedo shirts. I mean, these are $100 shirts,
Yeah.
you know. Of course, they're extra large, but could she use donations like that?
You'd have to ask her, but
Yeah.
I believe so.
So
I think
I'm going to
something
bring
like
it to
that.
the graduation exercise next Tuesday,
Next
the
Tuesday.
22nd.
Mhm.
It's at 5:30 or 6:30?
5:30.
5:30 at the boardroom at the Antelope Valley College.
Yeah.
What am I forgetting to ask about YEA?
I'm not sure. I think
You can't come back a second year.
I believe you can.
Oh.
I
No, we can't.
Oh, we can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is one time.
It's quite, I'm sure it's quite an investment that the chamber makes
Yeah.
in each student and the parents, and so it's a once in a lifetime opportunity right there.
We'd like to keep it going. We don't want it just to be this one year. We'd like to continue to see how far we can go.
Well, you have some ownership in the program now.
Yeah.
And you can help find the next group that comes in.
Exactly.
And everyone.
Exactly. I have a couple of younger friends at school, and I'm like, you should do this. And I have a couple of friends who are in 9th grade now, and I'm like, this is something that would really be good for you.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, I mean, you can be pretty young and take this class.
Mhm.
You're
I
sixth
think-
graders.
Yeah. Well, the one 6th grader I think that we had didn't make it all the way through the program, but I believe you could if you were a 6th grader.
Okay, Tiara, I have a tough question for you now.
Oh boy.
What was the coolest thing
Ooh.
during the YEA program? What's the
I
thing
would
that
say
sticks
all
out?
of it.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest part was seeing it grow, seeing our businesses grow from ideas or not even ideas. Some of us didn't
Yeah.
have ideas. To an idea, to
Another idea.
a business plan, to a product, a prototype, and then taking it to trade shows, taking it to professionals, and hearing people like validate what you knew, that it's such a good product and that like they want this too, that validation.
You know, I'm gonna have PJ step in here for a second because we need contact information. Can they just call the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah.
Okay, so the YEA program, Lancaster Chamber of Commerce, 661-948-4518. Jillian, 10 seconds.
Oh, for contact information?
No, what was the coolest thing?
Oh. Well, I think the coolest thing about Young Entrepreneurs Academy was probably the knowledge that you got for this. And even if I know a couple people aren't really going to continue their businesses for their whole lives, but I think even through just gaining the knowledge and knowing how to do all this accounting and knowing what it takes to run a business
Worth it.
it was definitely worth it.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being on. And best of luck always. We'll be right back with more YEA. And we're back. This is Chris Spiker. We're with the students from the YEA program, sponsored by the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. So I've got student Payne Radford. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Payne. And the person that was kind of riding herd on the students, PJ Delgadio, for Sarah.
Yes.
Welcome. So, Payne, tell me a little bit, how did you get involved in the YEA program?
Well, first in the 7th grade, my math teacher told me about this, and I thought, that sounds interesting, but then my dad also heard about it from a friend, so he told me I should try it out, and I did, and here I am.
Wait a minute, you're in a math class, and then somebody has a business idea, and you think that's pretty cool?
Well, my math teacher, Mr. Choi, he talked about it because I think he was a part of it.
Oh yeah, it's a
And
big part.
he said if you're interested in that, just like take a paper, and I did. And my dad also told me about it, and here I am.
Okay, and you're a senior at the high school?
No, I'm only in 8th grade.
You're an 8th grader?
Yeah.
I did that on purpose.
Oh,
Isn't that cool? So that makes you 13, 14?
13.
Yeah. And you set up your own business.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about the business that you set up.
The name of my business is Rad Tags, and we make tags for your suitcase like this that you can clip onto like a handle, and it makes it easier to identify when you're at an airport or somewhere like that.
So it's like a nylon strap,
Mhm.
about an inch wide and 15 inches long, and it has a heavy-duty connector at one end. So it can seal on itself, and it's got your name or whatever you choose to, what's that style called?
Embroidery.
Embroider on there. Your name, it's unique colors, so it's gonna be the only one at the airport with a blue strap with your name on it.
Custom tag for your bag.
Custom tag for your bag, is that your motto?
Yeah. Well, it's more like Rad Tags for all your bags, but.
And are you selling these now?
Well, I was selling them at the swap meet, but I didn't take any orders that day because not too many people just like walked by and looked at it.
Yeah.
But I think I could sell them. Like my dad, when he posted pictures on Facebook and stuff, like everyone was saying I need one of those. But if I want to sell them, I don't think I can make them all at home because the embroidery machine I'm using can only do one at a time, and it takes like, this one took like 10 minutes, and it only says like 8 words or letter characters.
Got your name on it.
And I made 6 of them that all said Lancaster, California, and they all took 14 minutes each. So it just takes a while to embroider it. So
welcome to the harsh realities of business. It's like, oh my gosh. So to sell 6 of them, you're going to be in your room for 2 hours.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And, well, that's definitely not the way you want to spend your life. So we have to mechanize this or sub them out to somebody that's got more of a machine. People are interesting. They're saving money, and they're sitting there with a $2,000 machine, and they can make this, and that's what makes it interesting. So, are you taking orders?
Kinda yes and no.
Yeah.
Like at the swap meet, I didn't get any orders because too many people didn't look like they were interested in it. But I did manage to sell one. But in the future, I want to take orders for people.
Okay, so maybe we can use this video that we're shooting as kind of a promotional, to, like, you know, I mean, they can hardly see it from here. But what's contact information for you?
Well, I probably an email or I could use my phone number, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay, let's do the email.
Probably just an email.
What's your email address?
The one I'm using right now is my personal email, but I could make a business email.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to make it right now?
Okay, no, not yet.
Okay.
My email I have is payneradford815@gmail.com.
payneradford815@gmail.com. So if you were going to sell these, what's the price you're selling them for?
I'm selling them at $15 each.
And this one's in kind of a navy blue. Are there any other colors?
Yeah, well, like when we did the whole investor panel, I made 7 of them for everybody's business. Like for Edison, I did green and yellow. For the hospital, I did the same thing, this kind of blue and the dark red. But if I'm making a ton of them, I just want to stick with blue and red, which are just pretty basic colors. And every store I go to buy this has blue and red, but I can't do. I could do fancy letters, but fancy colors. But it's just harder to find the actual colors people want.
Yeah, and then you're stuck with more inventory. Who is your market?
My market, well, my main market are people that travel, but another market is people with athletic sports bags, because they all have black duffel bags for like carrying their hockey gear or football gear, and they all look the exact same. So if you had a tag like this, you could just clip on. You couldn't just say, "Hey, that bag's mine."
Yeah.
Not yours.
And the chances of that unclipping are pretty small.
Yeah, it's really strong. I've already used these on 3 trips of ours.
So what's the turnaround time for the tags?
The turnaround time, well, it takes about 30 to 20 minutes to make each of them, but the hardest part would just be shipping them out to people. But I could probably like get an order and give it to them within a week or less.
Yeah, so they take forever to make the decision, then they want it right away, and you have to rush in and make it, and then you have to drop it in. The shipping to wherever, and then they get it.
Yeah.
So, PJ, I'm going to ask you a question now.
Okay.
What did you enjoy about working with Payne on this project?
I enjoyed watching him develop his idea, because he had lots of different product ideas at the very beginning. So seeing that he eventually came up with rad tags, and Radford with his last name, the tag, he came up with that, and to see him open up was really exciting. To see each of the kids really open up about their products. At the beginning, the first class, we're all watching them and they're shy.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about their business ideas, and
Because they have to develop their business idea.
well, a lot of them started with one. The only one that was consistent throughout the entire class was Lael Corey, who did the thrift and consignment store, vintage store. So for the most part, everyone had something they thought would be cool to do, and they completely changed their mind towards the end of the program.
Hey, how did you get involved in YEA?
I got a phone call from a buddy of mine at the college who asked if I had something to do on Tuesday nights, and I said no. And then I was interviewed by Mark Hemstreet and Austin Rice and Monica Grado, who are all very active with the chamber.
Right.
And they thought I'd be a good fit to round up this year's class.
You put a few hours into this.
Yeah. Manage recruitment, prepare the class, the lesson plans. Every week I do a conference call with the national YEA people just so they know that we're on track with our deliverables.
Right.
And just so they know what's going on, and then they give me input on how to keep our students engaged. Because we did start off with 14, and then we dropped down to 6. So that was part of the hard part, was trying to keep the rest of them engaged as we're losing students.
Right. You had to interact with all the parents.
Yes.
And how was that?
At first I thought email would be easier, and they would look at it as, I guess, more professional, because coming from, working with the community, everyone does email. And then I realized it didn't work with YEA. No one was responding.
Right.
So then I developed into texting everybody, and that worked a lot better. So I have parents who text me if they're running late, if they have questions, if they want to know just more what's happening in the classroom.
Yeah. Texting is the language of the parents' age group.
The parents too, yeah. The students definitely. If
Yeah.
I need to remind them, hey, business plans are due, or don't forget class is, earlier, or if we had an extra class on a Thursday, texting was the easiest way to get them to remember.
I want to go back to Payne for a second. What was the most memorable or interesting presentation of all the different professionals that came in and talked with the class?
My favorite was probably when I forgot her name, when she came in from the Lancaster CA, or she was talking about how, like, business, or to have a business you have to pay to
Oh, City of Lancaster.
City of Lancaster.
Really? You had the city of Lancaster come in?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sydney from
Good talk about your-
Economic Development
Uh-huh.
came to speak to our class to talk about getting your business license, and then she went into a little bit of her background and working with code enforcement. And so for them to understand that if they're running their businesses from home, there's some things that they have to keep in mind,
Right.
that they can't just, put a huge sign in front of their yard or paint their house a funky color so they wanted to stand out.
Or a big sign out front, or 15 cars from all your employees in the front
Yeah.
yard.
And then it depends on what kind of business it is too. There's some businesses you can't do from home.
Yeah. There's some rules
Yeah.
to running a business.
And they didn't understand that. And then being young, they're like, well, that's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Well, let's fix it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what did your parents think of you being involved in this program?
I thought it was good for me just to get out of the house and be able to do something like this, to see, like, what I could actually think of for ideas.
Yeah. And has the money been awarded yet?
Yes.
Ah,
And the cool thing about our YEA program this year is each of our kids were awarded money. I guess in previous years there were students who got nothing,
Yeah.
who the investor panel didn't think deserved anything. But everyone got a really good chunk of what they asked for. And some people went over, and quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the cool part is that all 6 of them have enough seed money to get their businesses going.
and sometimes you realize even the investor panel, I mean, they may see something different. Doesn't mean you can't do it because they didn't give you all the money.
Yeah.
It just means you keep knocking on doors, which was
Exactly.
the purpose of the exercise. So talking with Payne Radford, an 8th grader, and PJ Delgadio from the YEA program, Lancaster Chamber. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.